Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm Dorothy. I am a professional astrologer. You can find me on the web at nhastrologer.com. There you can contact me if you would like your own private sessions. And I'm teaching classes online. You can connect with me there as well. And Facebook, Dorothy Morgan Astrologer. So today what I want to do here is, and this is a new format for me. I've been watching and I've been trying to figure out if I want to do the whole year for each zodiac sign, if I wanted to continue doing once a month for each zodiac sign. Now that is a huge amount of hours. I can't do it anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 3-month forecast for each zodiac sign. So January, February, March, or basically the winter months, the winter season, and I will work on that for you. And if you want to see the first part of the winter, you go back and you watch the December forecast for your zodiac sign. Okay, so this intro will be in every video, just so you know. Watch the time. If you want to go watch another one, you can skip past this point. All right, thank you for watching, and let me get started. All right, Scorpio, let's get started on this for you. We have a full moon in Cancer on January 4th. It is in your 9th house. Being that it's in your 9th house, the emotions that are heightened at this point in the year are about your education. Do you have enough? Do you not have enough? You're going to be questioning that. And you're going to be really emotionally attached to these feelings that are coming up. Do you need to travel? Would you like to travel? Is it the time of year for you to travel? Looks like it would be. Go find that new home, right? Go travel where we want to live, that type of a thing. This is what goes on with this Cancer full moon. When the moon is full in the sign of Cancer, it is very emotional. So people are not aggressive emotional or dramatic emotional. They're just emotional because the moon owns that sign of Cancer. And when it's full, there's a complete reflection is happening at that point in time. Now, we also have 4 planets in the sign of Capricorn. They are in your 3rd house, and that 3rd house is all about communication. Capricorn in the area of the chart that is all about communication. What that does for us is that makes you a deliberate communicator, and you will feel very strong and very specific about how you're communicating in your neighborhood, how you can make your neighborhood feel safe. This is kind of like neighborhood watch energy. You know, everybody's keeping everybody else safe by everybody watching their small area of the neighborhood. And the communications with siblings is heightened during this period as well. All right? Your immediate environment and short journeys are very, very important with all of this Capricorn energy in that area of your chart. I'm sitting up because I'm scrolling and I scroll too far. On January 5th, Mercury and Venus move into the 4th house, which means they move into the sign of Aquarius. That's where your Aquarius sits. And so with Venus in there, it just means home will be a bit unique for the month of, for the rest of the month of January. There'll be something different. Values are shifting. You may be getting new equipment, new appliances, things like that can happen when Venus in Aquarius moves through that area. All right, now Mercury is in Aquarius there too. And it is about just that quirky type of communication. It's very analytical, very smart, very intelligent. It's the engineer. There's a couple of other things going on in this period in the same area of home and family. And one of them is, we have a full moon, the new moon, excuse me, at 0 degrees of Aquarius. It is in that 4th house. So that is the highlight of your month. So something new and very different is going on at home. Right there on January 20th is that new moon at 0 degrees of Aquarius. So there's new opportunities to think outside the box in whatever it is you're working on at home. Now we also have Mercury moving retrograde on the 21st of January, and when Mercury goes retrograde, it will be that way from January 21st all the way to February 11th. So right around that January 21st, Mercury's at a standstill. It's a stalemate. There's not a lot of communication happening. We want things to happen. This feels very frustrating to me. Especially when you're talking about things were in the 3rd house of communication, and now it's down in the 4th house in Aquarius, and it's retrograde. So what you can do with this energy is go into this Mercury retrograde period, January 21st to February 11th. Go into this period with a list of things to do, to accomplish, to complete. That's what we want you to do. And that's the best way to use this energy so it doesn't feel so frustrating. On February 3rd, the full moon in Leo will be in your 10th house, and that is your career. There is something going on in your career. You're needing attention, or maybe you got too much attention and something isn't working out well now. You're going to have to decide what it is for you, but when there's a full moon in Leo, that is very dramatic. And with that drama in that career sector, whatever's going on, if it's just not been on the up and up, then that means there is an issue of some kind, and it will come to a head, and it will be very public. On February 6th and 7th, Venus and Pluto connect by a 60-degree angle, and that is a very, very nice connection. I'm just throwing this one in here because there's lots of connections like this throughout the 3 months, but this one I like because it just tells me that if you're in a relationship with somebody and you're ready to take it to the next step, that's Venus, you can transition into that next step easily because of the Pluto and because of the easy aspect that these two planets have with each other. Now, if you're also in a relationship with somebody and it's time for this relationship to end, you can transition out easily. No karma built up. You can easily say, yeah, this isn't working for me. How about you? No, okay, let's move on. And just move on easily without any bad feelings. So, Venus sextile Pluto is a very, very nice energy that is early February. February 6th and 7th. Very harmonious. It's a nice transition that you can get through easily. On February 11th, that is the day that Mercury goes direct. So again, on a couple days on either side of February 11th, Mercury will be at a standstill. Again, down in that 4th house. So whatever you're trying to communicate at home, pretty soon you'll be able to finally get it out, whatever it is. The frustration of what's going on in your home should lighten up within a few days of February 11th, pretty much by Valentine's Day, by the 14th. But the thing is, don't push anything, don't try and make anything happen. If you do, it will not work. You're just going to be more frustrated than it already feels like we might be. Now we have the new moon on February 18th. It is at the final degree of Aquarius, that 29th degree of Aquarius. The other new moon we had on January 20th was at 0 Aquarius. This one's at 29 Aquarius, all in the 4th house. So there is something going on at home for you, Scorpio. Something going on there. Because, you know, when we have a new moon at the beginning of a zodiac sign and at the end of a zodiac sign, that means we're just really having to pay attention to what your current life situation is about. And really thinking outside the box and not staying in the same place. You cannot stay in the same place anymore. It just doesn't work that way. We have to move out of the old energies that we're in. And this new moon, these 2 new moons in a row are producing that for us. If we're not willing to move and be creative and get out of really crappy situations, then this energy is going to push us to do it. It's as simple as that. You know how sometimes the universe just gives us what we want even though we're afraid to ask for it. The sun on the 18th of February as well, a few hours later, the sun enters the sign is in the evening of Pisces. And when the sun enters Pisces, that's the culmination of everything of the whole year. It's our whole year culmination when we get to the sign of Pisces. And so when the sun enters that sign in the evening, it just means it's time that we can be flexible. And when it moves into Pisces, it also moves into your 5th house. And that 5th house is the area, it's all about love affairs, it's relationships. You look at my list here, you know, just looking at the bigger picture, but it's our creative self-expression as well. Where we're creative, where we're passionate. Because if we're having a lot of stress at home, we might not be very passionate about anything and have lost our passion about things. So this is important that even though the sun is in Pisces, which is rather boundless, it has no borders, it's still good energy for us to figure out how we can be creative and just maybe find that spark of life again. It'll take about a month, if that's where you were. All right. Now, on the 19th, the day after the sun moves into Pisces, Mars enters his own sign of Aries, so he moves out of Pisces and he moves into Aries. So there's a lot of shifts going on in this week. And that is your 6th house. I'm looking at the chart over here. That's your 6th house. And on the 20th, Venus moves into Aries, also your 6th house. On the 22nd, Venus and Mars will conjunct. And what happens here is this is the masculine and the feminine energy in the sign of Aries. Aries is aggressive. Aries goes for what it wants. There's no fluff. There's no buff. There's like, I want this. This is what we're going to do. Let's go do it. This is very sexual energy between two people. It is the yin and the yang, but whatever. That doesn't matter as far as that situation goes. There is a lot of, there's so much that can go on with Venus and Mars that are conjunct. So, and in that 5th house, actually it moves into the 6th house. So that is at work. So if you're having a love affair at work, this is something that could, well, this is something that could happen, and something that is needed to be very, very careful about. Because this is, we're losing power here all the time. We're in a big old snowstorm right now. Today is actually the day before Thanksgiving, the night before Thanksgiving. I've got like 5 more of these videos to do, and the doggone power keeps going out. I live in the White Mountains of New Hampshire. We've got about 10 inches of snow out there, and it's heavy and wet. So I'm not sure where I was. I'm so grateful that it came back that fast. Last time it was out for 2 hours. Where was I? Sorry, I'm going to look down and see my notes. And this is real life. I am not in a studio. I am at home in my home office. That's the way it goes. I love where I work. I don't have to go very far. Where was I? So Mars and Venus are conjunct. It intensifies our desire to mate, to share something that is very physical with others. And it is very important that we be very careful about that if it is something that is not a good idea as far as society is concerned. You know what I mean. If you're married, whatever. All right. So on the 23rd of February, I'm going to move on. The Sun in Pisces squares to Saturn in Sagittarius. This is a square is usually about challenges, which it is. But these are mutable energies, the mutable signs. All right. Pisces and Sagittarius. So this is easy. So what it means is that there is maybe a challenge in a relationship, maybe a challenge in something that we're attempting to do, but the challenge is easily met, and when it's easily met, we're able to move through it quickly, and we learn from it easily. So I like this. It helps actually stabilize things that might feel a little unpredictable right now. And so it's not so harsh. I don't mind squares. Some squares are difficult, but I don't find them that difficult. I find the quincunx, 150 degrees, that one's almost impossible. And the semi-square is pretty tough too. On the 23rd and the 24th of February, Venus and Mars are making a harmonious trine to Saturn. So this means, hey, you know what, this actually could bode well for a physical relationship with somebody, maybe turning into something that actually could be more of a steady long-term relationship. That's really what that says. It can be attractive, you know, to have a physical relationship and an intimate relationship. We definitely have to be attracted to the person. So we might have gone a little out of order, but you know what? Not for this situation, not out of order. Saturn is down in that 2nd house. So another thing that we can look at with that energy, Saturn transiting your 2nd house. When Saturn does do that, basically what happens is our finances go through some sort of a shift. And that shift can be that we have to tighten the belt even more than we already are accustomed to tightening it. And that's fine. It teaches us how to be responsible with our money. It does not mean bankruptcy. It just means how to be responsible with our money. We might have to live on less for a little while, but it teaches us how to live with almost like a minimalist. Not quite. It's not quite that dramatic, but remember when it worked through my 2nd house, it was definitely about just learning how to live within your means, not live on credit. Live with what you're earning, and it's a good exercise. So Saturn will be doing that, and I'll get to that more in a little bit. So I want to end February with information on the Sun and Neptune are conjunct on the 25th, and that again is in the 5th house. And when we have this, the Sun and Neptune in Pisces in the 5th house, that's a fantasy. That's not reality, but it's a love affair as well. But if that, I know I've mentioned that a few times, and some people could be rolling their eyes at me. Scorpio, you probably aren't. But you could also use this Piscean energy of the Sun and Neptune in there, to be extremely creative, to, be, this mysticism, and be a mystic, and meditate, and use music, and just very soft compassion, understanding. All of these things are what's highlighted when the Sun is in that 5th house in Pisces with Neptune. Okay? All right, let's move on to March. Hopefully I can do this before the power goes out. How much time do I have? Good. Sorry, I have a timer up there. On March 5th, we have the full moon in Virgo. That is in your 8th house. And no, that is in your 11th house, which is friends, your social groups that you belong to, organizations, and their activities. So that Virgo energy in that 11th house, I want you to focus in. You're going to pay attention to the details of the businesses or the organizations, that you want to be involved in. Then we get to March 10th. On March 10th, it's a wonderful fire trine, again, between Mars and Jupiter, and it's all about what you want and where we're creative and the things that we're passionate about. That's the 6th house to the 10th house. So that means that there is something going on between the work area of your chart and the career sector. And it gives you a lot of creative freedom and a lot of fire to make both of these areas of your life work for you. Now we have on the 11th, 11th of March, Mars and Uranus are conjunct in the 6th house. And again, that is that daily area, that daily work area, what I do on a daily basis, my daily habits, routines, exercising, brushing my teeth, taking vitamins, eating every day, getting up, going to bed, just that type of stuff, going to work, co-workers. All of this is highlighted by Mars conjunct Uranus. Mars conjunct Uranus can be very volatile, but if it's not used properly, if you use it properly, you can just channel this energy into a lot of activities in that area of your chart. So try that out. Don't suppress anything if you need to be moving and doing stuff, because that will cause accidents, and it just does. It's the way it is. On March 14th, that's when Saturn will station and move retrograde for the coming 4 months, again in that 2nd house. And I already elaborated a little bit on that. So money is will start to feel more secure, or you're going to feel a lack of it. And you're going to need to learn how to live with what you earn. Again, it doesn't mean money goes away a lot, completely. It just means the excess goes away. So you have to learn to work with what you have. And I want you to do that. I've done it. We've all go through it. It happens to everybody. It is not the end of the world. It just makes us appreciate what we have more. Okay? Venus enters Taurus on March 17th, and that will be in the 7th house of relationships and partnerships. This is a nice little break. That way, as when I only mentioned Venus a little while ago when it was sextile to Pluto earlier in February, and now in March 17th, Venus in Taurus in your 7th house. And it's very stable. It's a loving, stable, really kind energy. You should be happy with that one. I'm going to end the forecast with an eclipse. So be present, pay attention right now. And I think I probably will talk about these eclipses in their own individual forecast when the time gets closer. Not for each sign, but the information about itself. So pay attention, because this will be the specific part, and the rest of it will be a lot more information when I'll produce that in March. So the total solar eclipse on March 20th is a very interesting eclipse. It's a new moon solar eclipse. It means the sun and the moon are in the same place. They are at the last degree of Pisces and the final degree of the zodiac signs, of the whole zodiac, final degree. That means the moon's void of course. That means that it is all about a complete and total surrender, completely letting go. Do not be a martyr, but it's about complete surrender. Now, new moons are usually about planting new seeds. How much time do I have left? At 20 minutes, the thing pauses on me. Usually the new moon is about planting new seeds, but not yet. because this happens at the early in the morning. All right. So, being that we're at the end of the zodiac, it's about releasing and letting go. So, even though it's a new moon, I just want you to release and let go. What it happens is, this is at sunrise, around 6 something in the morning, and it takes 12 hours for the sun to move out of Pisces and then move into the sign of Aries. And when the sun moves into the sign of Aries at 6:45 p.m. East Coast time in the United States, it is, we're ready to immerse ourselves in a bunch of new things. And anything that's new, whatever we want to do that is new. Because this is a fantastic energy. Aries is the beginning. And 29 degrees of Pisces is the end. So we have the end, the exhale, and it doesn't take but a few hours later and we have an inhale. So we're releasing, and then we're bringing everything back in. Okay, it's always that exhale, and the inhale is always like that anyways. That's the yin and the yang, as it always is, the masculine and the feminine. So what we get to do here is, I'm going to read this sentence that I've written out. We all have a chance to go over what our lives have been about over the last year and gather our thoughts, so we can soon manifest something new that matches who we are now. It's been an interesting astrological year, and we're now at the end of a cycle and the beginning of a new one. So I'm going to leave you with that. Sorry, that was so convoluted. Please contact me at my website, nhastrologer.com. I have new online classes starting in January. If you please join me, nhastrologer.com. Thank you. The power stayed on, except for a brief minute there. Namaste.